Good morning, YouTube. Welcome to a beautiful Sunday morning finally here in the state of Montana. Got the vet outside because I've got my son's car, which is a 2012 Mazda 3. And forgive me, I have a cold, so my voice is all messed up, but he has to work today. So he dropped his car off to me, but he needs rear brakes and rotors and a oil change. So we're going to do that for him while he's at work, and he'll come back and pick up his car this afternoon. So we've got rear pads and rotors to do, and the Mazdas require a special tool to turn in the caliper. So he bought a kit, so hopefully we have the right stuff. We'll go through that today and get that done for him, and then I need to drop some stuff off, so we'll probably go for a ride in the vet later too. So see you guys shortly. Oh yeah, so front ones are done. Still need to do the rear. I've been waiting for the weather to get nice because, as you've seen in the last videos, it's been crappy. So today we might paint the rear calipers also. All right, so we did have the correct oil filter, so now the oil's draining. And while that's draining, I'll give you a little history on this. So my son is 25, 26, something like that. So he saved up for like a year and a half, 2 years, paid cash for this car 3 years ago. It still has less than 50,000 miles on it. I think he paid 12,000 for it. Bought it from a doctor, I do believe. And he asked me to go look at it and test drive it, and I told him if he didn't buy that car, he was crazy. So he did, and he's normally taking pretty good care of it. Like I said, it's pretty filthy, but he keeps up on the maintenance and stuff. So 2012 Mazda Skyactiv, gets super good fuel mileage. Perfect little car for him. It's just him and his dog, and well, now his fiance. He'll be getting married this summer, but they have 2 cars between them, so it's all good. Talk to you later. So this Skyactiv takes 4 quarts of oil. He's chosen the Mobile 1 Extended Performance. High mileage. I don't know why he got high mileage. He's got less than 50,000 miles, but let's move you to the other side. Maybe you guys can see. So we'll get 4 quarts in here and give her a start. Maybe. I'm just using the little quart indicators on the back side of the bottle, so that should be all it takes. Let that settle in there for a minute and then double check the oil. 0W20, it's really thin oil to begin with, so it's hard to see, but one side's covering the thing and the other side's between the hash marks. We'll let that settle a little bit longer and double check it again. Might have to add just a splash. They're like 3.9 to 4.25 depending upon which one you have. Yeah, it needs just a splash more. That should be good. All right, I'm gonna go through and check the rest of his fluids and top everything off that needs topped off, so we'll get back to you in a bit. All right, so I got one side of the brakes done. I did the other side without filming just so I can see the process and see what I'm doing to make sure I'm getting everything right. So there's tire off, 21mm bolts, lug nuts. We've got a cap here and a cap here we have to take out. And then there's two 7mm Allen heads that we have to thread out. Once that's off, we have to undo this clip first. We'll pop this clip loose. Once the caliper's off, we can set it off to the side. There's two 14mm bolts to take the bracket off. And then beat the rotor off. I'll probably spray some penetrating oil on there because it's stuck. And then we'll use the fancy new brake tool he bought to turn those calipers in. So let's get started. Hopefully you guys can see. I'll try not to block everything, but screwdriver and that little plastic cap went underneath the screwdriver. Make sure you're all the way in the Allen head so you don't strip it out. These swivel head ratchets are nice when you get into tight areas like this. These Allen heads are the slides, so they usually don't come all the way out. So we'll take our screwdriver and kind of work them out a little bit. And they seem to be sliding pretty good. They're pretty easy to move. Pop this spring off. Caliper should come off freely. We'll just set that off to the side. The park brake is built into the caliper, so they don't hang very far. Pads off. Ooh, that one wants to be stubborn. There we go. The rear pads have this little spring on it. I must tension the caliper some. Now I'll switch to a 14mm socket. And pop those loose. I really need one of those stools you could sit on. goes. Now I'm going to take this caliper outside, and where the pads sit, I'm going to wire brush it all down. Make a clean surface. Get this caliper out of the way. Little PB blaster. This might be loud, guys. Cover your ears. I have new calipers, so I'm not, or rotors, so I'm not worried about if we damage it. Just like that, the rotor's off, and they're pretty beat up, so he definitely needed new ones. All right, I'm gonna go outside and clean that bracket, and I'll get back to you in a minute. All right, so we got our new caliper cleaned off with brake clean. You want to make sure you do that to get that packaging wax or whatever it is they put on it. I've got my bracket. I wire brushed both ends where the brake pads sit. Now we just reverse the process. I put one lug nut on there just to hold that centered so we can get the brakes on. Everything centers up. This one's our front pad. This one's gonna be rear pad. Missing the little bracket though. Spring. Rear pad has a little spring on it, so that'll just sit on. I do not have any caliper grease, so that's why I'm not greasing any of the slides. That's why I wire brushed everything down clean. So now the fun part. We have to get that turned back in all the way so we can fit it over the pads. So that, hopefully you guys can see that we have this tool. So we'll thread it all the way in. Get everything lined up. And then thread the plate out. The plate's gonna hold pressure on the caliper. So when you're turning the piston in, there's pressure on it to push it in. And we'll have to keep adjusting the tension every time, so. And then you just turn it in. were threaded in all the way. Now it's tight. Pair of channel locks, we'll back that off. Thread that all the way in. And then it just slides right out. Now we should be able to put our caliper on. Easy peasy. Get our bolts started in. Switch back to our 7mm Allen head. Get that one going. Boom. And then the last thing we got to do is put our new caliper spring in. So I'm just gonna put this side in the hole, tilt it down, kind of get that one started. Take my needle nose pliers and just push it on in, down. And rear brakes are done. We'll put the tire on, I'll pump the brakes back up, check the fluid levels, make sure we're not over full or under full, or take it for a little test drive, and this car's done. Other than he needs to clean it and get my little caps back in. All right, so that's that. We'll check in with you after a bit. All right, guys, we're gonna cap this video off for the day. Just waiting on this last caliper to dry. I'll pull the wheels on, pull it outside, let it sit and bake in the sun for a while. I got bored while the paint was drying, so I pulled my son's car over and vacuumed it out, washed it up with the foam cannon and the Armor All ceramic wax. Kind of just vacuum the interior front. He has a dog. I'm not cleaning the windows. He can do that on his own. But it was pissing me off, and at least it looks better than it was before. So he can owe me. I'm his dad. I'll take it out of his hide if I have to. You guys have a good weekend. Enjoy your Sunday, and we'll see you next time. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe. Comment on the videos down below on what you want to see, and we'll talk to you next time.